Storm components. Now, so guys, when it comes to look at Storm, there are two different ways of looking at Storm. One is from the execution perspective. What are the different players? Okay, so what really happens when you submit your Storm jar into your cluster? What really happens there, and what are the components responsible for what? That is first thing. Second is from the exact code execution perspective. So we will be having we will be going to have the look from these two angles altogether. So when I say from code perspective, what are the players? At that time, our focus would not be on Nimbus nodes or Zookeeper nodes or on the supervisor nodes. At that time, our focus is going to be on what exactly is spout, what exactly is bold, what exactly are the groupings, and what exactly are the kind of groupings which are available, right? So we'll be talking about those things in a bit more detail. Now, coming to Storm cluster, so basically there are three different kinds of nodes. One is the Nimbus node. The other, so Nimbus node is going to be only one within your cluster. It's like, in Hadoop parlance, probably it is something like the name node, right? It's going to be only one. And by the way, it is in parallel with Hadoop 1.0, not with Hadoop 2.0. Next, Zookeeper nodes. So Zookeeper, how many of you are aware of Zookeeper? Like, have you used it earlier? So being aware means if you have said that, yes, I have heard about Zookeeper is not sufficient enough. Yes, used with HBase. But again, when you say it is used with HBase, HBase now internally uses Zookeeper. You do not need to install anything extra, right? No, Vasant, it is not. That is why I have asked this question. I wanted to see, how many of you are already aware. Accordingly, I can, go into the details. So as I can see that, there are many people, yes, at least I have got some 6 responses as of now, which are saying that, yes, it's not really, they are not really very familiar with it. Not a problem. Not a problem, guys. See, Zookeeper is a distributed coordination service altogether. Okay, so when we say about distributed coordination service, it's all about that your Zookeeper. I'll just take the example of again Storm itself, right? So you have a Nimbus node which is running. You have a lot of supervisor nodes which are running, or even if you do not take the example of Storm, let's take the example of any other distributed system. So there are systems like HBase and all which are having, which are executed across different machines altogether, and there are different kinds of players, right? So their region server has a different responsibility altogether. The HBase master is going to have a different responsibility altogether, and all of them are going to have their own replicas also, right? So HBase master is going to have its own replica. The region servers are definitely going to have the data replica and all that stuff. Now, this looks good. This looks good completely. But when it comes to work as in, in a synchronous manner or in harmony, then so if there are replicas of a master, at one time there can be only one master. There cannot be many masters in your system, right? This is I mean, you do not really need to be the master of or I would say it's a very common sense kind of thing, right? At one point of time there can be only one master. There cannot be many entry points in your system. This is the basic design rule for any other for any system itself, right? So things look good when you are working in a centralized kind of a system, but when you go for a distributed kind of a system, who would decide that out of these 5 different replicas, this particular person is a master? Who would decide this, right? Even if you somehow configure the rules, right? But again, you might have to keep changing them, right? So that is kind of cumbersome task, right? The other thing would be, let's say your master or whatever, I'm just taking one simple example here, okay? One of the masters of your system, it just dies, right? It just dies. Now, when I say it dies, it's all about your machine goes down, right? Or it just crashed altogether. Now, you have two other replicas also, or whatever, n number of replicas of the same master, which are again running. Now, you're back to the same question, leader selection. So now that your node number 1 is down, right, which was the master node, there are node 2 and node 3. Which one should take the responsibility of being master now, right? So kind of conflict resolution, kind of a leader selection altogether. Now this is one kind of aspect, right? The other aspect is now about the slave systems altogether. So you have a lot of slave systems which are residing, and guys, this discussion which I'm saying, right, about master systems, about slave systems and all, it has nothing to do with Hadoop, it has nothing to do with Storm. This is the generic distributed system altogether, right? Now about those systems, right, which are your slave systems and distributed there, they must be maintaining some sort of states altogether, right? Of course, why exactly are they distributed? Because you must be spawning your distributed processes. So the states of the processes, the states of the machines themselves, right? What exactly is their status altogether, right? Their configuration settings and all. So they must be published. If they must be published at the same time. If the more distributed they are, the lesser is the risk of single point of failure, right? So now these are the cases, right? These are the kind of scenarios, or these are the kind of things which you will never ever encounter in a single or in a centralized kind of a system. You will see these kind of challenges only and only in the distributed systems, right? Zookeeper is the answer for it. Zookeeper does exactly what I have said, exactly whatever are the problem statements which I gave to you, right? So in case of HBase, because I have seen that many of you, or not many, some of you are from Hadoop background, definitely you would be able to recall, right, that in the case of HBase also, since it's a distributed system altogether, you have multiple copies of HBase masters which are running. But at one point of time, only one HBase master. So if you can recall, there was HBase master and the Zookeeper sitting at the same level altogether. So Zookeeper is the one which will tell you, or which will direct a client request to one specific HBase master at a time. From there only it goes to the root table and things like that. I'm not going into those details right now, right? That is point one. Then second, if that dies, which exactly is the next HBase master, so that is conflict resolution. About different HBase, H region servers and all, so as soon as their meta information changes and the ranges or the regions, right, the table regions and all, their information changes, those kind of things are stored at each and every node or each and every machine altogether, right? So Zookeeper is something which is distributed across all the machines in your cluster, okay? So Zookeeper has to be installed across all of the machines in your cluster for the simple reason that it just keeps all of the states within itself and keeps it published, okay? So it is just the another wrapper which is running on the top of your distributed system, okay? So I don't know, because not many of you have attended those Hadoop batches which I have taken earlier, but yes, we used to have this discussion that why only HBase uses Zookeeper, why not Hadoop as such uses Zookeeper, right? Because you never heard about Zookeeper, right, when you were reading Hadoop. So I'm not going into this discussion because that would be more of a Hadoop discussion. I don't want to do that right now. But it's a kind of question, think about it. This is my job also to keep planting the questions and keep you just on your toes to find out the answers. If not, we can probably discuss also a bit later at the end of the class. So now this Zookeeper nodes, as right now you are seeing, it's like 3 kind of thing, right? And your supervisors are too many supervisors. Right? For the sake of simplicity, just a sec. So for the sake of simplicity, just assume that these Zookeeper nodes are going to be installed on each and every machine. Okay, and this in the terms of Storm itself, Zookeeper is the one which is going to do the state management for you. When I say state management of your cluster, point 1, state management of your entire topology. So right now you do not know about topology. Don't worry, we'll come to that. Next are the supervisor nodes themselves. So when it comes to the supervisors, see guys, what happens is whatever Storm job you write and you submit it one time, right? As you can recall from yesterday, right? You submit it one time and then it keeps running forever, right? Now, do you think that Nimbus, who's the master, is going to monitor it all the times, or is going to keep them running all the time? What do you think can be the probable thing? Just asking all of you guys, right? The reason is I do not want to teach you. I'm not here to teach you. I'm here to help you to derive, right? So do you think Nimbus is going to be responsible to keep them executing again and again? No, right? The obvious answer is no. Why? Because then you are making Nimbus as another job tracker who is overloaded, right guys? Which you are trying to make it. If you say that Nimbus is going to be responsible for your programs to keep running, forever in your system. So there have to be a different agent altogether, right? Right? Which will be responsible to keep executing your task again and again. Those are called supervisors. Okay, those are called supervisors. Niranjan, I'll come to your question. Okay, so is this clear that what exactly is the role of supervisor? So now Niranjan's question, Niranjan says, which machine do we submit the job? Is it from supervisor or Nimbus from the client? So from client you always connect to Nimbus. Okay, you always submit your jobs to Nimbus. As I said, Nimbus is almost the equivalent of job tracker. Okay, so you submit, or you say bin/storm jar, and whatever your jar, we will see that. We will see that. It's like Hadoop jar something. Okay, similarly it is storm jar and some options altogether. Then Nimbus is the guy which submits it to the cluster for execution, but actual execution happens by supervisor. So in terms of, or I would say, if I ask you to draw the parallels between Hadoop and Storm, which category you will put supervisor, in which category will you put supervisor, and in which category you are going to put Zookeeper nodes and Nimbus, both? If I would have asked you only Nimbus and supervisor, you would be happy. But now I'm saying Zookeeper, Nimbus and supervisor both. All 3. Great. Yes, Max, I'll come to your question. Can you explain the difference in the task between Zookeeper and supervisor? Yes, definitely. I will. Just a sec. Supervisor is task tracker, Nimbus as a master. Yes, so supervisor is kind of task tracker, Nimbus and a bit of combination of Zookeeper itself acts as master. Okay, so why am I saying Nimbus and Zookeeper? Because guys, you remember the job tracker was responsible for launching as well as monitoring the job, right? So Vishnu was asking a question when I was, when I had asked this question and you were replying, wherein he asked a question that could you please explain the difference in the task between Zookeeper and Supervisor? Vishnu, did you get the answer or not? If you did not get the answer, I just gave a hint, right? That Nimbus and Zookeeper combined can be treated as a job tracker. Means job tracker was responsible for submitting the job as well as monitoring. So submitting the job is happening via Nimbus, but monitoring and all, right, is assisted by Zookeeper. Did you get the answer about Zookeeper job? Now coming to supervisor job. So what do you think would be the job of supervisor? It is not only the question for Vishnu, it is a question for everybody. We just told, right? Execution, the actual code which you have written, the actual jar which you have submitted, right? Execution of it again and again. Guys, I have taken a lot of time to explain it, just to make sure, because this is the basis, right? There are not many concepts here. Now, Nimbus node, so I hope it is quite clear to everybody, right? Now, if you can just see that, it's kind of a summary of whatever I have told. So Nimbus node, which is the master node, and it's almost like your Hadoop job tracker altogether. It is responsible for uploading the computations for execution. Guys, this is not executing the computation itself. Okay. Now distributed, and it distributes the code also across the cluster, launches the workers across the cluster. Now, what do you mean by workers? Because you never saw workers, right? I mean, what are you seeing right now? Nimbus, Zookeeper and Supervisor. There is no worker, right? So for worker, all you can just think about it as the JVM process itself, which we are talking. Okay, worker is a JVM process itself. We will see what exactly is the difference between worker and supervisor and things like that when we will be discussing about controlling the parallelism in Storm. Okay, we'll talk about controlling the parallelism in Storm. At that point of time, it would become even clearer. Okay, now monitors computations and reallocates the workers as needed. Again, so what happens is your computations are happening. It is monitoring the computations, but via Zookeeper only. It cannot monitor by itself. And let us say, see, your job is running, right? It is running on the supervisor systems. Now, as I said, in the distributed systems, and especially which are running on commodity hardware, failure is something which is not unexpected. Failure is something which is always expected, right? So in this case, let's say your spout or bolt, whatever was running on any of the supervisor nodes, ran for first time successfully. It ran successfully for first time, but second time when it was running, some problem occurred. Probably somebody just pulled up the network cable, right? So of course the job is gonna fail, right? Your job is gonna fail then. So in that case, the reallocation of the same task to some other node, it will happen only and only by Nimbus itself, but it would be assisted by Zookeeper. So as you can see that Zookeeper nodes, this coordinates the Storm cluster. It is very summarized form of basically it assists the Nimbus node to perform all of its operations. Now supervisor nodes, guys, there are some questions which are being posted. I will take up all of your questions very soon, right? Hope probably some of you will get the answer also directly. Okay, I mean without me explaining. Supervisor nodes, so it basically, see this is very important point here. Communicates with Nimbus, but through Zookeeper. It starts and stops workers, okay, according to the signals from Nimbus. This is very important here. So when I say workers, I hope when I said, if just some seconds back I was talking about it, right? Workers, you can treat them as the JVM processes altogether. So it starts the JVM processes based on the directions from Nimbus. Again, all of them would be happening through Zookeeper itself. Okay, guys, is this clear? Is this clear? Now, there are some specific questions which I will take now. Okay. Yeah, so guys, okay, I have seen a lot of comments and questions. So let me take them one by one. Arpan says, just one doubt, Zookeeper runs all the nodes of topology. Where does the Nimbus run on spout and bolt? Okay, so Arpan, first question, I am hoping you wanted to write that does Zookeeper run on all the nodes of topology? Is that your question? If this is your question, then the answer is yes. Okay, so Zookeeper does not run the nodes. Zookeeper runs on all of the nodes. Okay, that is the answer number 1. You have the second question. The second question says, where does the Nimbus run on spout and bolt? Okay, are you saying, does the Nimbus run on spout or does the Nimbus run on bolt? Is this your question, Arpan? Is this your question? Okay, then I would say your question is invalid. Sorry. Okay, so here I'm saying your question is invalid. The reason is Nimbus is just a daemon. Okay, so it's just like how would I say, name node. Name node is a daemon. Your job tracker, your data nodes, they are the daemons. So they do not run on any of your mapper or reducer, right? There, they do not run on any mapper and reducer. They are the daemons on the top of which your calculations are going to run. Got the idea, right? So Nimbus is going to run on one of the machines in your cluster. That's all. And supervisors are also going to run on some of the machines. So they are the daemons which are going to run in the back end. Okay, so I hope, Arpan, I have satisfactorily answered your question, right? Now I'll take the next one. Vishnu says, so if an execution fails, then will Zookeeper spawn the another supervisor? Vishnu, I hope you got the answer of your question, right? I just talked about it some minutes back, and it is clearly written on the slide also, right? Yes, so Zookeeper runs on each and every node of your cluster, definitely. Exactly. So your spouts and bolts are the programs which run within the JVM, right? How does your Java program run? Right? It runs within a JVM, right? Vasant, others, right? So spouts and bolts are the programs which you will write. Okay, JVM processes, you can treat them, Vasant, right now you can treat workers as the JVM processes altogether. For this very same purpose, right, when I will be talking about the parallelism. So there is a specific reason I'm not going to discuss the code today. Okay, I'm going to execute the code, I'm going to distribute the code with all of you. Okay, but I'm not going to, discuss the code today anywhere, because today is a very random code. Next class, I will be distributing the code with you. Next class, we will be having actual code discussion there. Okay, so today it's going to be focused on this parallelism, worker, supervisor, what is node and all that stuff. Very soon it will follow. Okay, so Udbhav, did you get the answer right? Zookeeper runs on each and every node of your cluster means Zookeeper is the daemon. You will see that HQRM peer. I think that is the name of the process or the daemon which will run. It should run. Otherwise, your supervisor and all, it will fail. Okay. Now Vishnu says, so can it be said that Nimbus monitors the entire spouts and bolts, and Zookeeper will spawn or respawn supervisors or workers as needed? So Vishnu, or I would just like to correct it a bit. I would say that Nimbus monitors the entire spouts and bolts through Zookeeper, and Nimbus spawns them or expands them also. You will soon see what does it mean to expand your jobs, right, via Zookeeper. Okay, Vishnu? Great. Let me see, is there any other question? Why does Nimbus depend on Zookeeper? Does it keep any state? So Sundar, partly I hope it is now clearer that Nimbus is not maintaining any state. It's Zookeeper which is maintaining each and everything. It is just that it is assisting Nimbus to perform its task because it is maintaining the states at each and every node, right? So Zookeeper is the, I would say, is like your knowledge repository of your entire cluster, right? Okay. What is the kind of state Zookeeper will maintain in Storm? So it will maintain the states of two things. It will maintain the states of the nodes and it will maintain the states of the processes which are running on them. That's all. Okay, so the states of processes means any spouts or any bolts which are running there, what exactly, whether they are up, down, something, right? That is one. And about the machine itself altogether, right? Now, let me go to the next slide. The same components, right? I told you earlier we were looking from the components which were responsible for executing your daemons. Now we are looking basically from the component side, which are from the, I would say, processing side itself, right? From the code side itself. Now there are 5 key abstractions altogether, through which basically Storm processes your data. So the first thing is the tuple. Tuple, all those people who are from RDBMS background, all those people who have ever read, Pig, Latin and all, they must be aware of tuple. It's simple. And by the way, these no's are very important for me, okay, because otherwise then, those people will lose the track of whatever is going to be discussed next. So it's simple. Tuple means, see, are you aware of the concept of tables, right? I'm sure you are aware of the concept of tables in RDBMS, right? So in this, what happens is you have a record, and in a table you have multiple columns and a row key altogether, right? Or the primary key. So all of the records, say if I just take all of the columns of a particular record together, if I put them together, that is called the tuple in RDBMS world altogether, right? So in very simple words, in very simple words, basically your tuple is nothing but just a given table record itself. Now streams is nothing but unbounded sequence of tuples, means continuous stream of tuple, tuple after one, under one, under one, and things like that. Okay, so this is just a unbounded sequence of tuples is called the stream. Okay, spouts are the sources of streams in a computation. See, this is the difference. Yesterday somebody was, I think I have forgotten who was asking this question, that is the spout source of the data, right? I think many of you had that confusion yesterday, right? Is the spout the one which is the source of the data? And I told also that it is not the source of the data. Typically you put spout integrated with a source of streaming data, right? Either it could be a queue or it could be an API altogether. So exactly the same thing is written here. It is the source of streams in a computation. Okay. Then bolts. When it comes to the bolts, it's all about they process the input streams and produce the outputs. Okay. So they can probably run all those functions, filters, aggregates, or even the joining of the data, etc. Right? And also we saw, though, the last part, or talk to the databases. That is typically, with the NoSQL databases and all, that's fine. But typically we do not try to process the data in the RDBMS world kind of thing, right? So this is exactly the function of bolts. So as you can see, spouts, their only responsibility, only primary responsibility, I would say, would be to bring the data within the topology, that's all, and do some basic things if they can, like a bit of filtering altogether. So that filtering which we have written in bolts, right? They can run functions, they can filter, aggregate, etc., a bit of filtering can be done directly in the spout also. Okay, but typically we do not use them for any aggregation and all. Now, when it comes to the topologies, so the overall arrangement of the spouts and bolts. So as you can see this figure which is there on the right hand side, right? Spout, then you have multiple bolts altogether, then there is another spout which is talking only to one bolt, and that's all. This bolt probably is not emitting anything, but yes, here, so this entire arrangement of spouts and bolts put together is called a topology. Guys, clear, right? Storm, and see the last point, it's very important here. Storm users define the topologies for how to process the data when it comes, comes via streaming in the from the spout itself. Okay, so guys, all of you who had those kind of questions or had those kind of confusions, what does a spout do, what does the bolt do and all, is that clear? The details of spouts and bolts are, anyway, that's the discussion point of the next class, that what exactly are the different functions, what are the different signatures and things like that. Okay. So now Vasant has a question in which he says, so Nimbus is the main program equivalent to Hadoop, equivalent from Hadoop, which initiates the processing. Yes. So Nimbus is the node. Nimbus is the daemon which is responsible for submitting your job. That's all. Okay. So it's just like your job tracker. That's the job tracker does exactly the same thing. Now, if you are saying main program, if you are referring to main class, Vasant, if you are referring to main class, then it is no. The answer is big no. Okay, you will see that soon. So there used to be a mappers, reducers, and there used to be a driver class, right? Similarly, here also you will be having your spouts, bolts, and a topology class, or a main class. It is just the convention to give the name as topology. You can give it any name, and failover also. Now, use cases of the Storm, as you can see that the first obvious use case is all about continuous computation altogether. So that is one thing, right? Your typical Google Analytics kind of job, right? Site metrics and other stuff. The other use case could be processing continuous streams altogether. So as somebody rightly mentioned yesterday, there is something called CEP platforms, right? Complex event processing platforms altogether. So Storm finds its typical use case there in those kind of systems also, because all Storm does is it just acts as an agent where it just finds out, okay, there is a stream of data, okay, this stream means some event for me, okay, this is the event, and now based on what exactly is the kind of event, probably it will lead the data by transforming, or probably as it is itself, to the respective bolt, and then the bolts can take whatever actions they want. Okay, so that is the use case. Now the distributed remote procedure call, or DRPC. Okay, this is another daemon which is available in Storm, and what it exactly does is, if you have to invoke some of the remote programs altogether via Storm, that is something which you can do by DRPC itself. So that is just one of the features which is available. Okay, again, I would not spend much time, guys, because I think there's enough of theory. Let's move to kind of a bit of action in the terms of machine, a bit of installation itself, and then get into the examples and about the groupings and a bit of dissection of whatever will be doing now. Okay, so use cases of Storm and all is another. Like I have discussed all these things, right? Financial services, telecom examples, whatever. Some of the popular use. All together, right? So we have definitely discussed this. Can you please discuss the retail ones? Yes, I think there is a proper pricing related. Okay, financial services, it shows pricing, but yes, there is a concept called dynamic pricing. So there is a small queue which is being developed from Maz, Ganpati, and Niranjan. Guys, I'll take your question. Let me just complete this slide, please. The main differentiators are, one, it is very simple to program. So guys, if you remember, if you could recall from Hadoop, right? For everything, if you go in the MapReduce way, then a mapper, a reducer, a combiner, a partitioner, probably custom partitioner, custom group key comparators, and all that much has to be written just to perform a simple join, equi-join, let's say, right? Whereas those kind of complications are not present in Storm. All you will ever care about is your spouts, your bolts, spouts, your bolts, and then as you will realize soon, they are simple Java programs, core Java kind of, those Pojo classes, and they give you enough flexibility and power to basically control kind of functionality you want. They are fault tolerant. This is where Maz, your point will come. So Storm cluster takes care of the workers going down, resigning their tasks whenever necessary. So before we just get started and into this, so guys, just to show you, this is my VMware player. I have multiple, so don't go with my number of virtual machines which I have. Okay, so there is Storm and Hadoop virtual machine. Right now it is not Storm and Hadoop integrated, so don't go by this. I'm like trying to work out some of the things if I can, but it's a bit tough right now. Tough in the sense it's not even working in Yahoo release. So let's see. Okay, but yes, it is just a probably kind of effort which I'm trying to put. Now the other VM which I have just created only for you, it is VM Storm practice. So by the way, my entire environment is set up in Storm and Hadoop virtual machine, wherein I have set up my Eclipse, I have set up my Maven, I have set up my Git, everything all together. But Storm practice is a plain vanilla Ubuntu virtual machine for which we have given you the link, okay, in the installation document itself. Okay, let me open the installation document also. Storm. Just a second, guys. Yes, so we have kept it. I'm sure at least Ganpati and others, right, who tried it, this is the document which you must have referred, right? Ganpati and others, right? You must have referred it. So I will try to go through this as much as possible, because of course you know that it is a bit longer document. It might become a bit boring also, right, over a period of time. So at least I will go through this document. Okay, this is a single node. I hope it is a single node one, which is there. Yes. Okay, so this is the single node document which we will go through. At least I will install Storm, will show the basic commands to you, and then a bit about the additional components, not all. Okay, so for that I am just starting my Storm practice virtual machine. This is plain vanilla Ubuntu machine which is going to start. By the way, I have realized it is 1.5 hours. Do you guys want to take a quick break? Okay, not a problem. Just a sec. So let me just, before we go for a break, let me just, so guys, this is demo of Storm installation, that is one. After this, after installing Storm, it's all about Maven installation, Redis installation, Node.js, Git, Eclipse. Eclipse setup is something which is, I think, pretty understandable to everybody, right? You can just download Eclipse, say go to eclipse.org, download your flavor. So download it for Ubuntu 32-bit, this thing, basically distribution itself. Download it and you are good. Okay. Maven, probably we'll do Maven and Redis. Okay. Not Node.js and get and all is something for which I will share the commands with you. Please go ahead and try it by yourself. They are simple Ubuntu commands, okay, because they are going to take a lot of time. With Redis, why am I taking Redis? Because that way you will be able to test it also, okay, whether it is working. And why Vishal is doing these things right now, not in the not at the project class? The reason is Redis, Maven and all are a bit new things, right? So you might, it will just give you a buffer time to get used to of it. That's all, right? Because next week is the second last week, right? And the next one would be the last week kind of thing. That's why. Now, okay. Another thing is, Udbhav says, is Maven mandatory? Exactly the same reason due to which I wanted to cover the, code in bit more detail. So guys, you know Maven? Good. You do not know Maven, you do not need to get disheartened. The first topology, the first example which I have created and I have uploaded is a pure Java project. It is not a Maven project. There is no POM. There is no POM in this project. Okay, Udbhav and others who are not aware of Maven, don't worry. You can create it as a pure Java project altogether. Although having Maven helps, definitely. So I am having both of the versions. What I would do is, typically, I'm just telling you my scheme of things. So please do not get confused on a later date. It was a very relevant question which Udbhav has asked. Okay, Vasant, I will come to your question also. So see, only in this class or probably in the coming 2 classes as well, I would run my code, or I will set up my code in Eclipse as a pure Java project, only for the reason because there are many people who might not be aware of, first of all, there are people who are not aware of Java. Second, even if they are aware, using Maven is something which takes some training in itself, right? Some of you who are aware of Maven and all, then for you it's not a big deal, right? Probably what I can do is I can share the POMs for them with you, right? So that you can create your own POM projects altogether. Then you can, your Maven projects altogether, include the POM, and then go ahead and create them, create your own builds altogether. And then what would happen is, normally you create the jar by jar command with them. With Maven, when you say package, it basically creates your, in the target directory, it creates your snapshot jars, and after that the process is same. Okay, so for the sake of simplicity, I am going to run my my jars built as a plain Java project. That's all. Clear? Udbhav, others, so be rest assured, I'm not forcing you. Only thing is it will help. Okay, next, Vasant has a question. And by the way, one another important point of bringing Maven into picture. See, Edureka, why Edureka? You are learning Storm, good. You are going to learn some use cases, very good. After that, what? After that, most of the extensions of Storm, most of the new contributions in Storm, okay, you will spend most of your time on GitHub, right? I hope GitHub is quite clear to everybody, right? It's a version control system, kind of a social version control system, distributed version control system altogether. So wherein people just do their work, put it in the form of repositories, you can clone it and then contribute it back. So those are the things. If you see most of the repositories, they are set up as Maven projects, specifically when it comes to Storm, and even for the latest projects also. Okay, guys, right? Now Vasant had a question in which he said, will Edureka provide this environment embedded to be played in the virtual machine, something like OVA file? No, Vasant, there is a reason behind it. It's not, we are not going to provide a plug and play kind of a thing. However, this is only my suggestion as an instructor, not Edureka's instruction, okay, or suggestion. if you are really interested, Hortonworks has that kind of, that kind of thing which you are asking for. Okay, everything pre-integrated. Do not take any, don't bother about anything. Just have that .ova downloaded, get started. But their structure is completely different from the conventional one, because you understand it, right? For the proprietary reasons, they have changed a lot of things. Okay, Vasant, I hope I have helped you. And not only to Vasant, these kind of questions might be useful for everybody. Now, Vishnu says, is prior knowledge of Node.js is required? No. Big no. Okay, I will share the entire source code with you. The only reason, see, I could have created, there are two reasons of putting Node.js and Redis and all. There are two reasons. Guys, I have to keep my projects contemporary. Okay, when I say contemporary, Redis is a data store. Okay, so I could have given you the example of using Storm with MySQL, Storm with Oracle and all. I could have given you those examples. Typically at a large scale, these databases are never used. Okay, you would end up using Storm with Cassandra, Storm with HBase, Storm with Redis, and Storm with Druid and things like that. Okay, so those are the kind of cases wherein you have to work with these kind of newer sort of NoSQL stores, databases and all. Okay, that's the reason due to which I have kept Redis. One, Node.js, just I wanted, so I could have given you a plain just program which is running, and probably it is just giving you some sort of output. Okay, but that is not my purpose. The purpose is to give you a kind of UI kind of a thing wherein we will be having a very simple use case. In fact, this kind of use case, I would say you will find it's parallel also. Okay, kind of you click on a website, the click streams get generated, and then you can verify whether your streams are, they are visible or not. Okay, so for that only Node.js is required. Okay, it is just the use case specific thing. Tomorrow you will, if you are not comfortable with Node.js, only thing is in that particular kind of project, whatever you have, instead of Node.js, you will probably be replacing your view layer with whatever you are comfortable with. Okay, Vasant? As far as code is concerned, I will walk through and then I will give the code also to all of you. Don't worry. Continuous flow of data to Storm. No. Node.js is required for view layer. Great. So guys, this is the plain vanilla machine, and this is where I am going to. So I saw, so the reason for me to take 1 minute extra break was, I think somebody had raised a ticket saying that I'm not able to create where zoo kind of thing, right? I hope some of you, one of you only would have raised the ticket. May I know who is this? Who has raised? The reason is it got assigned to me. Okay. So, okay. Yes, this is me. Okay, not a problem. So I think probably Rajlakshmi, I think you will get the kind of solution right away, right? So first thing is I'm just going to start the terminal. The kind of the shortcut is Control-Alt-T. Okay. Now let us just follow it one by one itself. I'm not going to, though let me tell, in my own setup, I have done it a bit differently. So why? Because when I was developing it, I just downloaded some version of it and then have built on the top of it. And my own setup is a bit different, but again, nevertheless, what we have put is the recommended one. The reason is, so how many of you, okay, not how many, I think all of you are aware, right, that Storm is now an incubation project in Apache. right guys? Is there anybody who doesn't know about it? I hope everybody is aware, right? So the reason is the earlier releases of Storm were following a different nomenclature. There was a refactoring which has happened when it came under Apache. So even the jars and other stuff, earlier they used to be Storm hyphen some release and some jar or something dot jar and all. Now they are Apache hyphen incubating hyphen so and so. This has broken a lot of things. Okay, this has broken a lot of things which are still getting fixed. Okay, internally I'm talking about. Okay, so even you you must be able to recall, I was telling you, right, that Storm and yarn thing doesn't work. So one of the main reasons is this only. Okay, so Yahoo anyway is working on it, but anyway, just to give you a heads up. So this is the safe approach which we have mentioned. Okay, I could have taken it as a very simple thing. So software requirements, VMware Player 12.0 for Ubuntu image, which is which is what I'm sure you must have downloaded it. Guys, this is important. This is something which is important here. When it comes to hardware, am I talking about RAM and all? No, this is not my concern, guys. This is not my concern. My concern is you are seeing this processor, right? Intel Core i3 processor or high. Okay. Also, I think I will ask the support team also to update it. Just a sec. Sorry, I just sipped some water. Had some sore throat. Okay. Yeah. So the reason is it should have VTX enabled, virtualization enabled. So there are flavors of i3 which do not have virtualization enabled. If this is the case, even if you download virtual VMware Player, you would not be able to start your virtual machine. So this is a point to be noted. Okay, guys, clear, right? So just in case if somebody is not, like you are doing everything correctly, but your virtual machine itself is not starting. If there is anybody who is facing this kind of problem, please check. I think your processor does not support it. Guys, clear? Because the reason, you can also read this PDF document. There is nothing big deal about it. The reason is these are the kind of hidden points which come in this discussion. Clear, right, guys? Just I have a on a just a humble request. Could just say yes or no kind of thing. You people, if you could just say yes or no, that would be better. Now I'm moving to the next one. Now the first thing is, of course, you will say sudo apt-get update, and then you will say sudo apt-get install open 6 JDK. Okay. Now this is something which I'm going to do now. I think update is going to take some time. By the time it runs, okay, my bad. Sudo apt-get update. Okay, it will ask for the password. The password here is password. If you are using the, oops, what's my problem? I have said app. Okay. So this is required, of course, for Java to, Java is one of the prerequisite. I will run the next command. Then, as you know, all of your things are going to work by Zookeeper, right? Zookeeper is a coordination service. That's why, as the first thing, apart from Java, you need the Zookeeper running. Is that part clear to everybody? Why exactly? So Zookeeper is something which is immediately required after the language. Okay, so let me just see. Okay, it is done. Now I am going to install Open6 JDK. Sudo apt-get install open, what's wrong? Open 6. What is that? Just a sec. Open JDK-6 JDK. Okay. Open JDK-6 JDK. JDK. Okay. Yes. Just say yes. Enter. So just another twist here. I mean, if you are already having Oracle 6 JDK installed, just in case, I don't know if any of you are already working on the virtual machine, right? If you are already having it, that is also fine. That's not a problem. Let it to install. It will take some time. So by the way, we will, in the meantime, can I do one small thing? It is painful for me to flip back again and again. So can't I open it here? Just a second, guys. Or rather than this, I would say Edureka.in. So what I'm trying to achieve here is I'm just trying to download that PDF within my virtual machine itself. Okay. Oops. Pretty bad. Just a second. Seems like some comment. You can copy paste the comments directly from your window to VM. It worked for me. Yes, it works. The reason is for you, there is a virtual machine setting. Okay, share the clipboard is enabled, and it is enabled for me as well. But for my typical, the one in which I am working, this is a practice VM, right, which I created. So for me, this copy command is not gonna work. I tried it just before some time. Okay. Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. That's fine. So by the time I think it's gonna take some time. It's gonna run. Because the reason is we are not going to stop here, right? We are not going to sit and watch this because this is not the purpose here. The purpose is to discuss the remaining things by the time it gets over and let it to run. The idea is just to get a feel of it, and at the same time if we can cover just before the code, if we can cover other things, right? In the meantime, that would be nice. Installation guide, single node, come on, save, okay. Let it to. Anyway, let it to download that. Now, so in the Zookeeper, right? So this is wget command. I think that's completely fine with you, right? Tar is basically to basically it's like zip thing to so you unzip the files. Similarly, tar.gz files. This is the typical command to extract them. Okay, so this is where I think Rajalakshmi had a problem, right? Right. So this is where we'll just see. At least I'll make sure that I run this much. Okay, and this is something which is important. This is something which is important, guys, because you know you can. It's very easy for you to do these things, right? Take time is equal to 2000, data dir is equal to this, client port is equal to this. What does it mean, right? That is something which is for which only I have opened this, and I'm trying to do the steps with you. Okay, so take time equal to 2000. Anybody? I think there were some people who have worked with Zookeeper. Anybody who has worked with Zookeeper will tell me the importance of take time. I did see some responses as yes. Guys, Khurshid, you, or would you like to take a chance on it? I think you are already working with Storm, right? In production? Kind of heartbeat interval. Oh, okay, not a problem. Okay. Okay. No problem. So kind of heartbeat interval, yes, it's a very good guess. It's all about tick time means, yes, in fact it is correct answer, heartbeat interval. In the sense, tick time is always, it's all that thing in which it refreshes the data dir. The data dir which you are seeing, right? Data dir is equal to /var/do. So typically this, I mean, I'm talking about a proper production node cluster altogether, right? So in the production node, production cluster, in each and every machine you will be creating a data directory. This is what will tell, see, Zookeeper is gonna store its state information at this particular place. Okay, data dir, and it would be refreshed every tick time milliseconds. It would be refreshed every 2000 milliseconds. Every 2 seconds it's gonna be refreshed. Is this clear? Guys, this is where the value is. I mean, following the steps is like following a manual. Okay, client port 2181. Do you guys remember seeing this number somewhere? Do you guys remember hbase site.xml? Do you guys remember client.zookeeper.port property? Remember? Guys, I mean, now I'm giving you the answer, at least you can acknowledge, right? So it is the port where the where Zookeeper listens to any of the client requests. Okay, this is the default port. You can change it. So whatever port you will give, it will start listening at the same place. So I just wanted you guys, I mean, I was in impression that many of you would be knowing it. Because if you use it in production, this is something which is very important. Many times there are conflict with this port. Okay, so anyway, let me just see. Okay, this is done. Now we are into the next step, and the good thing is I think our other download is also over. Open containing folder, click, click, click. Now, come on, just open. Okay. So many frames, guys. Okay. Now, see, we are done up to this step. Next step was basically to copy paste this. Oops, sorry. Sometimes it's funny. Okay, so it is just downloading that tar of Zookeeper, and now we are going into the configuration of Zookeeper. I will see if it is gonna take a bit longer time. I would take it to the logical conclusion, and then without completing that Storm thing, at least Redis and Node.js, because those steps are not even mentioned in this step. of course, logically it doesn't make sense to put them together. At least I will try to cover those parts. And then, because there are some important targets or milestones which I have kept for this class, which at least we have to cover today. Is it possible to download these software and install? Yes, why not? So you just saw that, right? I said wget. Instead of this, just put that address in your web browser. You will be able to download it. Okay, Sundar. By the way, this Storm, there is a rare version which is available for Windows also. Seems like a good thing, isn't it? Okay, but don't try that. I mean, you can try, no problem, but that's a slightly older version. So Apache and all, you typically know, right? They don't really care about Windows, right? So, but yes, the older version was available for Windows environment, but only thing is most of those APIs have now become deprecated. So you will be able to get a feel of it by developing it, but yes, your code would not, probably you will get a lot of deprecated warnings. Okay. So Venkat says, I went through multi-node cluster documentation. I could see Zookeeper is not installed on slave and installed only on master. From our discussions, Zookeeper must be installed on all the machines in the cluster. Yes, it should be installed on all the clusters, but I have to just check it, Venkat, if there is some small difference there. Okay. So right now, anyway, let's just focus on this part. Okay. Now, oops, I'm going to, and why am I copy pasting? The reason is simple. I don't want any spelling mistakes as I have done just now. Then I would go and I will say cd Zookeeper. Okay, I think this should be the next step. Okay, so you can see that, yes, it is there. Now, this is where I think Raj Lakshmi was getting the problem in the next step. So let me just say sudo mkdir /var/ by the way, it must be a permission issue. See this, it got created. If you want to see ls/var, see this, it got created. Raj Lakshmi, did you see this? Sudo mkdir /var/u, it got created for me. There is no problem. So you know what? Probably it might be asking for the password. Okay, probably you might be running it from a different terminal. Okay, yes. Okay, you might be running it from a different terminal, and for the first time it asks for the sudo password. The password should be all small password. Okay. So anyway, by the way, this is a standard approach. Otherwise, you know what I do? I go to my home folder, create a zoo data directory and create it. In fact, I will show it to you when I'll be going to my actual machine. Okay. So this got created. Sorry, where am I? So see this, it is asking for the password, right? Now you are saying sudo gedit this, and in the gedit you're basically gonna copy paste these commands. So sudo gedit conf/zoo sample. Oops. It means I do not have the, just a second guys. Okay, so I do not have the zoo.config. You might have this problem. So all you have to do is cp conf, just in case if you people are facing, somebody is facing this problem, then zoosample2 conf slash zoo.cfg. Okay, then sudo gedit. Why am I saying sudo gedit? Just says gedit conf slash zoo.cfg. It will just open it. Yeah. Okay. Right now everything is, commented, and I am in no mood of changing it one by one. So what I'm trying to do is, God, this is bad. Sometimes it becomes a bit problematic to work in tick time equal to 2000 milliseconds, data directory, and client port. So Rajalakshmi, I hope you are watching it, right? And it is not only for Rajalakshmi, it's for others. The reason is because she faced a problem. So straightforward, we can close your ticket, right? Okay. Anyway, now, okay. Another thing which I would do differently from the manual. Okay, you do it according to the manual, there is no problem. But I would be doing it a bit different from the manual. Is I will say bin slash zk server dot sh start. Enter. What happened? Oops. Okay. Since I did it, I understand. I have to do sudo. Sorry guys. Okay. Now whether it is started or not, I have to say sudo jps. Enter. See this. Quorum pf name. You should be able to see this process. If you are able to see this process, it means your Zookeeper is up and running. Guys, clear, right? To everybody? This is important. By the way, I was actually, so it is suggested to have your logs and all in /var directory. That's why they have created it in /var/zoo. Nothing stops you in creating it in another place also, a place wherever you like. So what I generally do is I say /home/vishal/zoo local data, and there I just assign everything. At that point of time, I do not have any problem in creating the files in it. Like earlier it stopped me because the permission was denied. So I had to start it as a sudo. Okay. Next. So after this, basically sudo apt get install get this, that, that's fine. Okay. Just let me see if there is any potential bomb hidden here. Let me just see. Otherwise, I would not like to spend more time on it. 0 configure. This is fine. This is fine. So guys, this is 0ZZMQ. If you are wondering what is ZZMQ, this is a 0MQ. Okay. Storm uses it internally. Okay, it uses it internally. That's it. Nothing more about it. In fact, in the coming versions, they are going to eliminate this thing because it would come pre-shipped. You do not need to install it separately. Okay. See, the reason why am I going through this document is, yes, this storm.yaml. Okay. Storm.yaml is the thing which is important here. Okay. Now, okay, got it. So this was one Nimbus host. Okay. So see this Nimbus.host is localhost. In actual production environment, this would be the machine address which wherever you would be starting your Nimbus process. Okay, so this is important. And if Zookeeper is not local to worker, then how the state is maintained? See, if Zookeeper, that's exactly the thing. That's why I always suggest to have it local. But if it is not local, then whatever is the Zookeeper host you would have mentioned, right? Zookeeper server you would have mentioned, it would save the state in that particular machine. Okay, Sundar? That's the exact reason due to which I want, due to which I was saying that yes, we typically, like it on each and every machine. Okay, now, so the remaining things are okay. UI port, this is important. UI port is, so Storm provides its own UI itself, Storm UI, and the port on which this machine runs, okay, sorry, this process runs is 8772. Okay. Then supervisor slot ports, basically these are the different ports on which supervisor can run. That's all. Okay. After this, it is all about starting the processes. Starting the processes are something which I will take directly in the machine itself. Okay. Starting the processes is something. What is the UI here? You will very soon see this, Sundar. Okay. So exactly this is the thing. I don't want to waste the time in unnecessarily configuring it. Whereas these are just the commands. The only reason of taking it up is you should not be missing those important points within the installation. Okay, but anyway. So guys, this was about just the started. So I was at the point wherein I was just taking some of the questions all together. Hold on. What is this? Maz, you have posted something? Okay. Probably it's a JD. You have submitted it to the chat window. Okay, not a problem. Now, Venkat says, is there a config where all the supervisor IP address can be mentioned so that all the supervisors can be started at one shot? So, as of now, there is no such config file, Venkat. There's no such config file here. Okay, it is maintained per machine altogether. I mean, of course, there would be some changes, but as of now, there is nothing. Okay. Another is a little confused. Please explain. Okay, Maz, what exactly give the recommended configuration for prod? Okay, see, it becomes very difficult when you say give the recommended configuration for prod. It's all about, see, when it comes to, see, here we are not assigning any memory and all, right? It's all about what exactly are the ports and what exactly are the things. So these are the standard ports which are there. Ideally, you should not change them. If you see, I am not assigning any resources here, right? We are not assigning any resources. These are the standard, ports and all which are mentioned. Okay. What is storm.local.directory here? So see this storm.local.directory, just like Zookeeper, right? Zookeeper is gonna write its states at /var/zoo directory. Similarly, Storm, right? Its own Nimbus daemon. What is Nimbus daemon doing? What exactly is Supervisor daemon doing? And things like that, right? All of that is written in storm.local.dir. Clear? Clear, right? How to configure multiple supervisor servers. So Niranjan, all I would just say is please refer that multiple node installation document once, please, Niranjan. That has already the answer for it. So the only reason is I'm just trying to be a bit lazy and trying to save some time here. That's all is the purpose. If still you have the question, please, more than welcome for it. Now, let me see if there is any unanswered question. Guys, first of all, I hope this exercise is helping you in some way, right? Like probably Raj Lakshmi found immediate answer for it. The other thing is this exercise, the purpose of this exercise was not really the installation, because then otherwise why we have put the PDF. Only thing is the go through and identify those some of the settings which are very, very basic. Now, without wasting further time, I would like to, yes, these are some of the things which I would like you guys. First of all, I would go for Redis. So Redis is a key value store. Oops, cannot copy paste. Okay, not a problem. I think I have to, this is, just a sec guys. First let me explain the steps and then let me tell about it. Can you copy the commands in the chat window so that we can simultaneously execute? Yes, definitely you can do that, but Venkat and others, I would request you not to do it right now. The reason is some of them may take time and you might lose the track. Okay, so I am going to share all of them. Okay, anyway I'm sharing it with all, but I'm going to share all of them with everybody. Okay, after the class they would be uploaded directly in the LMS. Okay, Venkat? The reason is, it is just to give you a feel that yes, these exactly are the things which you are supposed to do. Okay, so guys, are you all getting the commands on a system? I think I could have arranged it in a better way rather than, so, but anyway, let me just tell, send to all, and then this is about Redis. This is about Redis. Okay, so now only thing is, once you run all of these commands, okay, I am not able to run it right away. Okay, the reason is like I have to copy paste and this is really painful right now. So don't worry, I think I have to shut it down, start my actual machine, and then show you some of the things. Okay, so I'm just shutting it down, shutting this VMware, power off. Okay, so let me just till the time it goes down, I bring my actual machine up. Till that time, just let me tell about Redis. So Redis is the key value store, and the command basically is quite simple, right? wget is basically is gonna download the tar file that redis stable.tar.gz to you. Then you are going to unpack it. After unpacking it, you are going there and you're building your code, or you're building your executable directly from source. So make and sudo make install. It's about first compiling it and then installing it all together in a very layman language. This is how you do. Once it is done without any problems to you, then the way to check it is you have to type redis -server. See, more on that, try to explore it by your own, because of course covering Redis is something which is out of the scope of this course, but still, just that since we are going to utilize it, at least I'm just giving you a heads up about the basics. Okay, so this is the way you will start your Redis server. If your entire thing is configured properly, after this you will see a nice looking graph kind of a thing, a nice looking figure, cubish kind of a figure, and it will say Redis server is up and ready to listen the client request and all. Okay, by the time, let me run my own virtual machine. Remind me later. Okay. Yeah. So once it is installed, after that, open the another terminal. Okay. Open the another terminal and type redis-cli. Redis-cli. Okay. So this is something which will open. It's a client. Okay. Command line interface, and the CLI stands for command line interface. Basically, it needs the client settings also. Okay. But right now everything is local, so don't worry about it. Then the basic thing. Okay, it got installed. Your CLI came up. Whether it is working or not. Okay, whether it is working or not. Has anybody worked with Redis earlier? Has anybody worked with Redis earlier? No. Okay. No, just say Redis-CLI. That's it, and enter. Then the only way to, so okay, Vasant, you have tried it out. Then what is the basic command to check whether it is working? What is the command? The command is ping. P-I-N-G. No, not help. Actually, help is something else. Just say ping. Okay. Say ping. At least you remember what is the response you will get. The command is, if you say ping, you will get the response as pong. Okay, if you get pong, it means your Redis is up. It's a kind of funny database, by the way. Even if it gives you the error, right, it will say, seems like something is wrong, would you like to try something else, kind of thing. Okay, so it has some funny kind of messages and all. Okay, so instead of saying something else, when you say ping, it goes pong. And similarly, if you persist data and you try to retrieve the data, it gives some funny messages. In fact, I also don't remember much. Okay, so this is one which you have to install. Okay, the next component which you have to install is, which will take time, is node.js. Okay, see this node.js installation steps altogether. Okay, and what exactly are they? Basically, we are going to install, first of all, these are the basic things which are required. Okay, G++, curl, libssl, Apache 2 utils and all. Basically, these are all different packages and executables which have to be installed. And then this is sudo apt-get install git core. You have to install git core, and this is the one directory. This is not the executable. Okay, see this. That's why git is required. So you will first clone it, then you will configure it, and then install it. Okay. If you do not get any error message, there is one way to test whether node.js is installed or not. First of all, you just complete these steps. I will be able to tell you in the next class how to test it also, because that would become too much. I don't want you guys to, be deviated so much from the actual topic that, it feels like at the end of the day, it should not feel like what exactly are we trying to achieve. Okay. So these are just, keep them as the pointers that it will be used sometime in future, in the third week. Okay, Niranjan, what exactly is node.js? It is used as a user interface. Okay, Niranjan, clear, right? And why am I installing? Right? Question might be this, because I'm going to show you a project which will have node.js as the user interface. It will have Redis as the database, Storm as the processor. Clear, Niranjan? And not only to Niranjan, it is for everybody. Right? But it will provide you the user interface itself, Vasant. Right, it's like jQuery kind of thing. Exactly. Okay, now let me just get started. with some more things which are more important. The overall purpose was not the installation. No, not at all. You guys are smart enough to do that. Okay, one last thing, Maven. Okay, installing Maven is as simple as giving this command: sudo apt-get install Maven. That's all. You don't have to do even another command. That's it. Okay, to check whether Maven is installed or not, what is the command? I mean, I'm sure there are so many Maven guys in this class. What is the command? Right. Maven mvn. Just type mvn, or you could just type mvn help. Okay, guys, clear, right? So just in case if you are wondering whether I will get this step or not, be rest assured you will get it within 24 hours after this class. Okay, as soon as the video would be uploaded, the code as well as the steps, everything would be uploaded. So don't worry about this part, guys. Now, some of the things which are important about Storm technology stack. So now after this, so the logical step is, after installing it, I should show you some Storm commands. But before showing you the Storm commands, there are some basic, like a basic minimum theory. I don't believe in more theory than, you know, bare minimum which is required. So Java and Closure are the languages in which this entire Storm is written. Okay, it's like kind of 50-50% logic. So basically Storm's primary interface and all are completely written in Java. So when it comes to this, it's all about your spout, right? Your spout interfaces and your bolt interfaces, various subclasses of them, all of that is written in Java. Whereas the core logic, so internally, so, spouts and all, these are the interfaces which you will use and you will code it, right? But how exactly it is going to be executed within the cluster, right? So that core logic of a Storm is written in Closure. Okay, it is written in Closure altogether. Now the next thing is important. It is highly polyglot friendly language. Anybody understands the meaning of it? It's a polyglot friendly technology. Do you understand the meaning of this line? Okay. Okay. I just want to see how many yes or no. Great. See this. As I expected, there were majority of no's. Okay. So guys, it's as simple as that. You can have multiple languages. Okay. You can write your spouts and bolts in multiple languages. It is not necessary to write your, you know, your entire spouts and bolts only in the JVM based languages like Java, JRuby, Groovy, etc., etc. You can write it in simple Ruby itself. Okay, so it just allows you to write your, you know, as far as your any language which can read the data from the stream, right? You can write your spouts and bolts. Though, as I mentioned in the first class, in the webinar, which was the introduction also, that it is just that we are going to cover the examples of Java only. However, if somebody wants more examples on other languages also, I do have some of them. Of course, I'm not going to discuss that, but I can share it with you, just in case if somebody needs those examples. Okay. Now, Python. Python is, so your logic is completely in Java and Closure. Closure is another language, just in case if somebody was wondering what is Closure. Okay. Python is another language. Now, Python is something which is responsible for executing all of your daemons, all of the management commands, right? Which you will see now. That is the reason I have kept this slide earlier. Okay. Are you all able to hear me? Niranjan, you are not able to hear me, is it? Okay, okay. So exactly. Now, yeah, thanks. Maz, I hope you are able to hear me. Yeah, for some seconds I think there was a fluctuation. Okay. Uh, some of the rare days, guys, when 2-3 times things go wrong, normally they don't. Okay. Now, so with Python, right? So Python has to be installed on each and every machine within the cluster. Did you wonder? In the installation document, nowhere we have mentioned Python installation. Why? Have you thought about it? I mean, I just told you, right? Python is required, but we never mentioned it. Right. Linux comes with Python built-in, at least 12.04, and I think previous release as well. Okay. So guys, just an answer. As I saw that 2-3 correct answers are there. Just in case others who were wondering, right? But if you try to install Storm on Windows, just in case, you have to install that. The step itself will clearly say that yes, it is required. So the first step would be Python and Java, which has to be installed. Okay. Can we use Ubuntu 14.04? Right, Sundar? When you say 14.0, you are probably saying 14.04 LTS. Right, Sundar? You can use, no problem. Okay. Now, basic Storm daemon commands. This is where the things will start. Okay. Just a sec, guys. Let me just see what would be the logical point to cover. I think, okay, we will cover up to Annie's questions. So we might overflow by 10 minutes. I think it is not really the right time to execute the code because it would be like some, we are rushing the things. I don't want to rush the things here. Okay. So coming back here, it's about the cluster. Control-Alt-T. Okay. So my user interface actually looks a bit different. I have customized it. Now cd storm -0 something clear. Okay. Now when storm what is it? Nimbus. The first thing would be Nimbus, which but before this I am into the new machine, guys. Sorry, I have to start the Zookeeper. I started the Zookeeper in the earlier machine. You remember, I have to start it first here. So I have to go, I have to say cd Zookeeper, then bin /zk server.sh, then start, and it is started. See this. Have you noticed why this command? Is this command a bit different? Is this command a bit different? See, the purpose is not to show you these commands, right? You can run there. But what is the difference here? You guys are looking at the screens, right? Sundar, Udbhav, Maz, Arpan, what is the difference in this command from whatever I discussed last? Nobody noticed it. Okay. If you have not noticed it, no. Then see this. Have you noticed something now? Nothing? No idea? I have not used sudo. Have you seen this? Noticed it now? I have not used sudo. Reason, because Vishal is a lazy guy. What I have done is, see this zk.data dir. This is my local directory and it is there in my home folder. Okay, storm data dir. This is my storm data directory which is in my local. So I do not need the sudo access. Okay, so I do not need the sudo command also. Guys, clear so far? That is why I said, see, these are the small changes here and there. In production, they become a bit bigger issue, right? So just wanted to give you the idea. Now I'm good. I will go to storm hyphen whatever it is, clear. Oops. What is wrong? Okay. Now I'm gonna say bin storm. First thing which has to be started is Nimbus. This command is gonna start the Nimbus daemon. Okay. Now the next daemon has to be started from the next terminal. But before this, you have to check whether it is running or not. Can you see something? Guys, I need responses. Right? So earlier it was quorum peer main which was running. Means your Zookeeper is up. Your Nimbus is with another process ID. It means your Nimbus is also up. Okay? This is something which is important. I mean, debugging thing, right? Somebody will say, I'm not able to submit my topology. So these will be the first troubleshooting steps which you or your admin will do. Okay. Next, again, cd storm this bin storm. What is the next? Supervisor, right? Supervisor. Enter. By the time I'll open the new terminal. Okay. I'll check it. Supervisor is on. Let us verify it. JPS. Noticed it? Nimbus, Supervisor, Zookeeper, all three up. Right? Next is what? UI. Right? So, again, I will go to storm, this, enter, clear, bin, storm, bin, storm, UI. Enter. Control-Alt-T. Next terminal, all I'm just going to do is JPS. See this? Oh, supervisor gone down. This is what I expected. Sorry guys, there's a small bug. Just a second. Nimbus is up. Supervisor gone down. Okay, just a second guys. Just give me a minute. I'll explain what exactly is happening. Not right now. Kill. Go back. This is my mistake. So my space is full. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Sorry, don't try this by yourself. Okay, so I have removed everything. It's like my storm is not even existing. Okay. My storm is not even existing right now. I have removed. It's like name node format. All those people, right? It's like name node format. Now I will go back. So these are some of the troubleshooting steps, but kind of hack thing. Okay, first I'll have to start my Nimbus. Come on. Quick. Okay, it has come up. Then I'll start my supervisor. Okay. quick. I will start my UI. And then after doing everything, first of all, it is a virtual machine, right? So it takes, see this. Core, Supervisor, Nimbus, all three up. Okay, guys, clear, right? You will typically not get this problem. Okay, I'm getting this problem because of my own old sense or whatever you say. Okay, I've kept this thing full. So sorry about it. Now, UI. Somebody was asking about UI. What is core here? Is it? Yes, it is for UI. Basically, the name, the way it is displayed is core. Okay, the package name is core UI. Now, Storm UI. So just type localhost 8080. Let me just show. Localhost 8080 F5. It will open the Storm UI for you. Here, it is just like you must be getting some sort of nostalgic feeling wherein you are able to see, the cluster summary earlier, like all those Hadoop guys, right? Cluster summary, then it's like job tracker, all the jobs which are running and all, right? After all, it is from Apache, right? So similar kind of thing, cluster summary, it will have all those kind of information, topologies, are there any topology which are running, are there any supervisors which are running, what is the Nimbus configuration, right? So these are the kind of things which will be displayed. Right now there is nothing which is running. Let's not worry about it. Let's leave that action for the next class, because next class is going to be completely like where we'll start on the top of it, right? So these are some of the commands. Storm DRPC is something which I have not launched, which I'm not going to launch right now. This is used only in the case if you are expecting, let's say, to launch some remote procedures via Storm. We are not going to do any such thing right now. We are not using it. Okay. Yeah, so Ganpati, exactly. That is another difference. So for you, it is localhost 8772 because the way port has been changed. Okay. But for me, it is 8080 because I have kept it default. I have not overridden it. Okay. So some of the differences, I mean, the idea was just to show you that, yes, from one place to the other, things will change. So don't be worried. Now, this is the command which we will use next time. And what to do? Guys, do you have 5 more minutes? Like 10 till 10:05 can we extend, please? Right? Okay, sure. So at least I would like to cover some of the commands themselves, right? Now, those were the commands which were the daemon commands. See this, these are the daemon commands. The next set of commands are the management commands altogether. Okay, so management commands, basically they are used to deploy and manage topologies within the cluster. So first command is the jar command. So just like I said, right, bin-storm UI, bin-storm Nimbus. Similarly, you will say bin-storm jar, and then whatever jar you have created, you will see that how to do it in the next class. You will create your own jar, specify the path of it, specify the main class of your topology, and enter. And if there are any arguments which your topology expects, or which your main class expects, just pass those arguments and then you would be done. Okay, so this is the command which is used to launch the topology, and exactly as it is written, it basically runs the main method of the topology class or the main class, right? The other thing is, what the result of it is, your topology jar file is gets uploaded in the Nimbus, and Nimbus is then going to distribute it across the cluster itself. Okay. If a topology with the the last point is important. The topology, okay, if the topology name, let's say you say Vishal topology, then if there is somebody else, it's unique across within the cluster. Okay, so somebody else also wants to, insert it by the same name. Of course, they will get an error because they cannot be duplicate names of the same topology. Okay, so that is very important here. Kill command, I don't need to tell you about it. It's all about, as the name itself suggests, kill. So what would okay, there is a spelling mistake here in the first line. The kill command is used to undeploy. They have written as underplay. I think I have to correct it. I'll tell them to correct it. It is undeploy. Okay, so the topology will be undeployed. It would first be deactivated. When we say deactivated, topology will not be undeployed, or the jar files would not be deleted, but they would be deactivated. No more new requests would be accepted. And then your, after some time, there is something called timeout. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when we'll go to the spouts, bolds, acknowledging, and reliable spouts, reliable bolds. Okay, at that time we will be talking about. This is the subject of next class. Okay, so at that point of time, there is something called timeout time, timeout parameter. For that duration, it waits and then it removes the UI completely from your cluster. So like your topology, if it is running within the cluster, your Storm UI will show you that this topology is running. Once you kill it, it would be removed from there. Deactivate, as I told, that kill command internally first invokes the deactivate. Okay, kill command internally first invokes the deactivate. So topology name is equal to jar name. Roughly, yes, you can say so. Okay, Arpan, roughly. I'm not saying you are correct. Okay, now deactivate, as I told, that kill internally invokes the deactivate command. So deactivate is just like you are not removing it, you are just disabling it. That's all. It will be visible. Okay, it will be visible, but you would, it would be non-functioning. That's all. Okay, then activate as just opposite, right? You can just activate a deactivated command. Question is, why do we need it? Sometimes we might know that, okay, this topology has got some problem, but we are not really sure whether the problem is with the code or whether the problem is with some input data source, but it is producing some wrong outputs. Guys, this is important. The commands are not really important. The purpose is very important. Okay, so you know that, see, there is something wrong going on with my topology. I'm not really sure whether the code is wrong, so I should not stop my topology. Okay, should not undeploy it. Probably there might be some problem with the source. Okay, at that time, but for some time you want to suspend it. Use deactivate. Once you fix the root cause, probably it is, if it is not with the source code, then just activate it. Got the idea, guys? Got the idea? Right? About rebalance command. Rebalance command, I will explain it in bit more detail in the coming class. Okay? But for now, just I'm going to tell you the purpose behind it. And then we'll talk about how to use it as well. Okay? So, you know, right? Storm is completely for the distributed real-time processing altogether, right? Now, it is distributed, so you are talking in the terms of cluster. Tomorrow, you add some new nodes within your cluster, right? So, if you run the rebalance command, your topology would be redeployed, kind of thing, or it would be like, it would be expanded across the new nodes also, so that the parallelism can be increased. Okay, the reason why I have kept the parallelism kind of thing is because this is the discussion of the next class, and we are at the fag end of this class, right? So it just needs some more kind of some 10-15 minutes kind of discussion. That's why I'm just giving you a hint, and from this point we are going to start in the next class altogether. Okay, so overall idea about rebalancing is that you have added some more nodes in the cluster. You want to spawn your topology in the newly added nodes also. This is where you will use it. Guys, clear, right? Clear to everybody? Great. So configuring is something which I'll I'll take as is the only remaining slide. I mean, apart from Annie's question, I will cover them. Okay. Next would be Annie's question. Just want to take it. What is the relation between a kill and deactivate command? Quickly, you have got some 20 seconds. Yes. Correct. So kill command deploys the topology, whereas the deactivated topology is just suspended. It can be restarted by activate command. Right. You have added some nodes to your cluster, but your topology performance is still not good. Right. Right. Correct. Consider rebalancing the topology so that it could run with increased parallelism. Okay. Now, that last part and from running modes we'll start in the next class itself. Okay, guys? Because rebalancing is something which needs some more concepts also. Okay. So, guys, I think with this the present class comes to an end. I hope you liked it, right? And I hope some of your doubts, some of those concepts which were not so clear or not clear at all, got some more clarity, right?